Welcome everybody to the Short Sports Show. I am your host Daniel Short. Today is Saturday, February 14th, and shockingly, and I told you guys we got to just get used to it just for a little while. There's no college football news, nothing really big, nothing major that's worth actually talking about. No college football news. It's sad. It's depressing, but we'll get through it together. We've done it before. We'll do it again. And but we do have some NFL news. That is a good thing. We do have NFL news that we can talk about, and we got some baseball news that we'll also talk about all in this show. And it should be a quick show. So let's get started. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers and what they're doing. And that's head coach Mike McCarthy is giving up play calling. The Green Bay Packers coach, who has called all the offensive plays since he was hired in 2006, has handed those duties now to Tom Clements, who has been promoted as to the associate head coach. Clements has been there with McCarthy since he came to Green Bay. He spent 6 seasons as quarterback's coach and the past 3 years as offensive coordinator. And McCarthy had to say this, saying, quote, "This is the time to do it. I think our staff is ready. I think it's an opportunity for those guys to grow. It's an opportunity for them to make an impact, and I feel will be better offensively from that. I know I have a lot more to offer to our football team. We're going to get to that." So, very exciting for the Packers, I would think. McCarthy thinking of, as a management perspective, looking at all the team and making maybe, not saying he's made bad decisions, but as wiser choices and giving up the play calling duties to Tom Clements, who's, obviously been around for a while now, and saying, hey, You do something with this offense. Past couple years, it's not going to say it's been predictable, but the offense, just stayed at the top level that it's been, but just hasn't taken that next step. So maybe with Tom Clements calling it, maybe he can lead it to the next step, of course, with Aaron Rodgers and Eddie Lacy with them. So should be pretty exciting to see the Green Bay Packers offense this upcoming season. Also, there was a fire at Rolando McClain's house, and it was ruled an arson. Alabama fire officials say a blaze that went through his entire home, just took it out, basically. Was ruled an arson. Excuse me. Alabama State Fire Marshal Ed Pollock said in a release Friday that investigators have determined a late December blaze that destroyed the home of Dallas Cowboys linebacker Rolando McClain was set intentionally. There were no details immediately available. They said that McClain's brick mansion was on the market for $1.5 million at the time of the fire, and I guess there was no bidders. And now since it was arson, they're thinking maybe it doesn't have to be Rolando McClain, but maybe one of his friends, family members might have taken it out to I don't know, get some money, insurance, something. Authorities have said that the fire at McClain's home was suspicious because the house was unoccupied and expensive. Authorities have also said a vehicle was speeding away from the scene. So we'll have to see. Hopefully McClain isn't in too much trouble. Hopefully it was someone else that did it. And thankfully, him and his family weren't hurt or anything. But check this out. And if this doesn't just make you just a little bit, I don't mean to upset your Saturday morning. I don't mean to start you off in a bad way. But it might. This might. So I'm sorry. But this upset me when I saw this. This was reported a couple days ago. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. We all love Goodell, don't we? No, I know we don't. He earned, check this out, and this was the 2013 calendar year, $35,017,000. That is what he earned in 2013. Are you kidding me? $35 million to Roger Goodell for making the NFL terrible, stupid rules, stupid decisions. $35 million. Let's see. Goodell made $44.2 million in 2012, but it included $9 million deferred pay. Doesn't matter. That's way too much money for an NFL commissioner, and especially Roger Goodell. Oh my goodness. I mean, no commissioner in any sport should make that much money. Not one. It's ridiculous. An owner, not even a player, makes that much money. An owner should probably be the one that makes that much money, if that. I mean, really, they should actually make more. But I'm just saying, an NFL commissioner should not make $35 million. I mean, because check this out. This was since he's got there back in 2006. This is what he made in 2006. $4.5 million. All right, that's okay. I'm good with that. That's fine. Then after that, in 2007, $5.9 million. Okay. 9.8 in 2008. Okay, now it's getting ridiculous. 9.9 in 2009. 11.6 in 2010. 29.5 in 2011. And again, 44.2 in 2012, and now $35 million in 2013. You can only think about what it was in this past calendar year in 2014. That is ridiculous for Roger Goodell to be making that much money. It's mind blowing. It's shocking. It's just stupid for him to make that much money. It truly is. I mean, he's made the NFL terrible since he's gotten the spot, and for him to make that much money is ridiculous. I mean, I haven't seen him do anything good especially giving back. I mean, you're gonna make that much money over this time period? You're telling me I haven't seen not one thing he's done to give back, other than whatever the PR people said to say, hey, you should probably do this. What has he truly done? I don't know. That's just ridiculous. Roger Goodell. Oh man. How are you doing it? I have no idea. Former Seattle Seahawks fullback Michael Robinson spoke with Seattle Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch and confirmed that Lynch isn't sure whether he wants to continue playing, saying, quote, my bet would be that he plays in Seattle next year. I don't think Marshawn knows yet. I don't know what the timeline is. It's probably going to be a field thing. We'll just have to see like everybody else. Marshawn Lynch is 28 years old and held out at training camp last season for 8 days before getting his contract structure of his contract, which had 1 year remaining at $7 million for this year. And apparently, after speaking with Lynch, Robinson said Lynch also is considering retiring because of the toll that 8 years of that physical running style has taken on his body. Robinson doesn't think Lynch's decision is about money, although the Seahawks have indicated they would be willing to extend his contract. So, we all know how Marshawn Lynch is. He's not going to come to the media and tell him how he feels, what he's thinking. Just like right now with Peyton Manning, him considering retirement. So Lynch is a different story, but I think Lynch does come back a year. I think he comes back one more year. I understand the running style. His body has taken more hits than a lot of other running backs in 8 years. So, his 8 years are really like probably 11 years because of all the hits. And like you said, he doesn't think it's about money. And most likely it's not. I think Lynch, yes, he wants his money, but, he's there to win the championships. And back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, obviously winning 2 years ago now is great. But, I think he comes back. It'd just be really hard to see him saying, all right, it was a fun ride, Seattle. Had a couple great years, but that's it. I gotta go. I can't see him leaving. I can't see him, especially playing for anybody else. It's either Seahawks or retirement, and I think one more year. I think one more year, maybe two at the most, and then that's about it for Marshawn Lynch. But I just think he still sees that there's hope, knows that the coaches are going to do something. Defense is still going to be there, of course. And he knows that team is young. So he's got a couple more opportunities to go to the Super Bowl and win it. So, because they were one play away from winning it to be back-to-back Super Bowl champions. He knows that, of course, because he was the guy that was going to get that game-winning touchdown. So I think he stays for one more year. And then there was a report now with the San Francisco 49ers saying that the, quote, mutual breakup between the 49ers and head coach Jim Harbaugh wasn't so mutual after all. Jim Harbaugh said on Friday on the TK Show, which is a San Jose Mercury news podcast, that the end of his tenure with the 49ers was terrible, basically. Saying, quote, "I was told I wouldn't be the coach anymore, and then you can call it mutual. I mean, I wasn't going to put the 49ers in the position to have a coach that they didn't want anymore. But that's the truth of it. I didn't leave the 49ers. I felt like the 49er hierarchy left me." Apparently, the 49ers informed him that he wouldn't be coming back on the Monday after the team's December 14 loss to Seattle. Instead of leaving then, Jim Harbaugh said that he wanted to coach the final 2 games and out of the desire to finish what he started. According to Harbaugh, the final weeks in San Francisco were a bit awkward as rumors swirled that the defensive line coach Jim Tomsula would be his eventual replacement. Saying, quote, "I wasn't reading anything on the internet. I was really focused on doing my job, but definitely walking down the halls and people look away or they look at you and know that something's going on." He just ended it there. That was a quote. But of course, the 49ers did end up hiring Tomsula on January 14th, more than 2 weeks after Jim Harbaugh accepted a head coaching job at the University of Michigan. And this was interesting for any Raiders fans out there, or anybody just interested about what Jim Harbaugh was thinking about the Raiders, coaching over there. He said, despite the rumors of other NFL teams, including the Oakland Raiders, Harbaugh said he had never had much interest in other jobs, saying, quote, "I really didn't look at any other situation. I didn't do pros and cons list or anything. It was a decision I made from the heart, and that was it. I was going to go to Michigan." So, I don't know. I feel like he kind of looked at, I could see him looking at the Raiders. But for him to say, flat out, just saying, nah, I wasn't looking anywhere else. I knew the Michigan job was open, and I knew they were gonna be interested in me the way that it was going with the 49ers. So yeah, it was a pretty easy decision. So and with the 49ers, Jim Harbaugh was 49, 22, and 1 in 4 seasons with the 49ers. And oh man, I know there was some problems in San Francisco, but honestly, I think Jim Harbaugh was still the better coach. I think he truly was. I think 49ers, especially the way these rumors are coming out with Colin Kaepernick now saying that they don't want him anymore, I think that's just ridiculous. It was ridiculous to sign him to that huge extension. I'll say that. But for already saying we're going to look at another quarterback, to try to get someone else to lead this team, I think that's dumb. I mean, Colin Kaepernick is still a star player. Just needs to go down his progressions a little bit more and just get with a better quarterback coach. That's it. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be fine at Michigan. 49ers, on the other hand, probably made a dumb mistake. Peyton Manning reassured the Denver Broncos officials, including general manager John Elway, that he is physically and mentally prepared to play at a significant level in 2015. The two sides met Thursday in Denver. While retirement technically remains an option for Manning, it is not one he expressed to Elway and CEO Joe Ellis. Both sides hope to have clarity on Manning's future by the middle of the end of next week, though there's no absolute deadline for, the decision or whatever. But if Manning stays on the Broncos roster March 9th, one day before the league's new business year commences, he will be guaranteed $19 million for 2015. Guaranteed. That is guaranteed $19 million more. And that somewhat becomes a problem, but not too much. The Broncos have key free agents they'd like to keep. Of course, that's Demaryius Thomas and Julius Thomas. They're tied in. But they still have projected $26 million of team cap space, even with Manning's $19 million guaranteed on the roster. So you're still able to keep both of those guys if they're reasonable about their money as well. And then also check this out: the team, the Broncos, I'm getting mixed up here. Have projected more than $50 million of cap space for 2016. So they could be doing something here. I think Peyton Manning will restructure his contract. At least he should. I mean, if he's truly wanting to win a Super Bowl, if you're guaranteed $19 million that you know